already have this one, so oh well. Oh no. Dropping books. Yo, what's up? Long time no see. I've been really busy. I went to Alaska for 10 days, came back to Tulsa. Got some allergies, wasn't able to read for like 4 days. And yeah, I've just been kind of behind. Honestly, I'm behind like 5 or 6 book reviews I want to get to. It's been real hot here now. This is the first day that's been under 90 since I got back from Alaska. Finally got to park at a nice park under some shade. Still a little warm, but I was going to film with a fan on, but it's way too loud. But yeah, I'm doing a little Alaska book haul. I went to Anchorage, and there was a lot of really good bookstores there. The Goodwills had really good selections, but since I was traveling so far and flying, I can only bring back so many. So I got, looks like 10 books that I got from Alaska. And yeah, I highly suggest tidal wave books if anyone's ever in Anchorage. It's like half price books, but independently owned, and has like some of the best like literature selections I've ever seen. Like, I saw so many books that I've never found used there before, so it was really cool. I think there was one other bookstore. Oh yeah, there was like a coffee shop that had a bookstore in it that was really cool called Writer's Block. And then the 2 Goodwills there were also had huge book selections. Since they have such bad winters, I'm guessing everyone spends all their time reading. Much more literary type of city than I was expecting, so that was good. And yeah, I guess I'll get right to it. Kind of all over the place, from sci-fi to horror to American to South American, the African American experience to Russian to French. So I was really happy with it. It was just kind of like a little bit of everything. And the first book I got actually was given to me by my friend's girlfriend, who they live together in Anchorage, and that's who I was staying with. I've been looking all over for this book, especially this copy. I didn't think I was ever going to find this specific copy used, but it was at her house, and I told her I'd buy it off her, and she just gave it to me. And that is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I absolutely love this edition. I've never seen it used, and yeah, I just definitely prefer this edition over other ones I've seen. There's tidal wave books. I got a bunch of these bookmarks from them. Yeah, I'm reading Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison right now. I got Native Son by Richard Wright, and I feel like all 3 of those books kind of fall in the same vein. I'm really enjoying Invisible Man right now. I'm right at the halfway mark, and I think it's probably going to be my favorite book of the year so far. I mean, halfway through the year right now, it's my favorite book I've read, and yeah, it's incredible. Moving on, I got Herman Hesse. I've always pronounced it Hesse. It might be Hess, but I'm pretty sure it's Hesse. I've read Siddhartha. I just bought Steppenwolf, but this was a recommendation of a friend, and another friend just got this book too, so he was going to read it soon. So yeah, that's a big reason I got it, and I just love this edition. Narcissus and Goldmund. But now that I got Steppenwolf, it's much shorter and it's much more up my alley. I'll probably read this after, but I'm not really in the mood for it, but I will get to it eventually. And then I also found Jorge Amado, Shepherds of the Night, which I find really interesting. I've been wanting to read Amado, and I hadn't found any of his works used before. This one just sounded really interesting to me. Shepherds of the Night is an epic journey into passion, music, gambling, a bit of fighting, and all manner of discursive side trips. It ripples with a special inner music that has made Amado's work popular. Just kind of about the underbelly, people drinking, hanging out, gambling, prostitutes, that type of stuff. The underbelly of the city, which is what I enjoy the most reading about. But yeah, and then also I was really excited to find this because I read Cannery Row earlier this year, top 10 book of this year. The only sequel to any of Steinbeck's books is Sweet Thursday, and it's the sequel to Cannery Row, so we get to revisit the characters and see what they're up to. And honestly, it was a super wholesome story with wholesome characters and a great community, and honestly, I found myself missing them. They were good friends to hang out with, and I'm excited to see what they're up to. Following a motto with some more South American writers. Yeah, we got Manuel Puig. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm sure it's not how I'm saying it. He's been on my list too, and this is the first thing I found by him. It's funny, I had never seen this book before, and then immediately when I got back, I went to the half-priced bookstore in OKC and found 2 copies of this, and one of them was even in the clearance section. It sounds really interesting. I read the first chapter. I'm excited to see where it goes. It's about an Argentine prison. 2 men share a cell. Molina, a gay window dresser who is self-centered, self-denigrating, yet charming as well, and Valentine, an articulate, fiercely dogmatic revolutionary haunted by memories of a woman he left for the cause. Both are gradually transformed by their guarded but growing friendship, and by Molina's obsession with the fantasy and romance of movies. So yeah, I think that's a really cool take. I really like controlled settings, and I like stories set or about prison, especially in the past and in a country. So it was about a revolutionary and someone who's obsessed about movies. So that's right up my alley. The first chapter is just entirely dialogue. One character explaining an entire movie to the other character, and it's like 25 or 30 pages long. So that kind of got annoying because it was just like paragraphs and then one little thing like, okay, go on, what happens next, and then a paragraph, okay, what happens next. So I'm excited to like actually dive more into like them as characters. But yeah, so pretty happy with that. I did find a cooler copy at the OKC half-priced books, but I already have this one. And then I found H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness. I do have a collection of Lovecraft stories, and I could have swore this was in it, but it's not, and I want to read it. So it's like 100 and... oh, wait, there's other stories in this too, I think. It's only like 100 pages, and I've never really read any long-form Lovecraft, so I've read quite a few of the short stories, though. Going to some Russian, I found Nabokov's Penin. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's about a Russian college professor. Here, let me just read it. Penin is a professor of Russian at an American college who takes the wrong train to deliver a lecture in a language he cannot master. Penin is a focal point of subtle academic conspiracies he cannot begin to comprehend, yet he stages a faculty party to end all faculty parties ever. So, I also love stories about professors, and especially ones that teach language or English or anything like that. So I think this is going to be my first Nabokov to actually read. I own quite a few of his books now, and even some lectures and other stuff from him. And I've never fully read anything by him yet, but I've read bits and pieces. And yeah, I think that's going to be the first one that I read. And then jumping over to sci-fi, which I have not been in a sci-fi mood in a long time, but I have been wanting to read this. 1, because it's a novella, and 2, it's because it's about a depressed robot with funny commentary. And so I think it'll be a nice, lighter read that'll like kind of cleanse my palate from other stuff I'm reading. I read the first few pages and that already made me laugh, so it's definitely going to be a good one. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I'm excited to get to it. Yeah, I don't even know if I said it. It's Martha Wells' All Systems Red. I feel like everyone in the booktube community has heard of this if they read sci-fi. And then lastly, actually second to last, I have Against Nature by Joris Karl Huysmans. I realized I've never tried saying this aloud, but this is a French novel from the early 1900s that is a classic in the decadent literary movement. That's how I heard about it, doing research on literary movements. It sounded really interesting, and I read the first chapter when I was in Alaska. I really liked the writing style and really enjoyed it, and it's definitely going to be something I'm going to try to get to this year, if not soon. Honestly, I feel like this picture depicts the story pretty well. It contains only one character, a decadent, ailing aristocrat who retreats to an isolated villa where he indulges his taste for luxury and excess. Veering between nervous excitability, he gluts his aesthetic appetites with classical literature and art, exotic jewels, rich perfumes, and a kaleidoscope of sensual pleasures. So yeah, seems interesting. And then lastly, I got The Subterraneans by Kerouac. I'm wanting to read all of Kerouac's works. It's one of my favorites, but this book so far has been pretty disappointing. I'm almost halfway through. And it just kind of like shines light on all of his weaknesses as the flawed human being he is. You know, a drunk, an alcoholic, a misogynist, sexist, and just kind of all around kind of selfish human being. I don't know, it's about him falling in love with this young black woman, and the relationship is very short, but it has a deep impact on him. So far, I mean, it's probably my least favorite thing I've read by him, and I've only read On the Road and Dharma Bums, but yeah, I think I'm just going to finish it because it's so short, and I'm already almost halfway. But it doesn't have any chapters, and it's a lot of no page breaks or paragraph breaks. And yeah, I mean, there are definitely a lot of really poetic and well-written sections in it, but the stuff in between the great writing is, I don't know, usually missed for me rather than hit. So those are my books that I found in Alaska, a little bit of everything, and books that I've been looking for. So yeah, it was great finds, and hopefully I'll have a book review out to you shortly. Sweet. Peace.